Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Archives. That's right, folks. Welcome to the Archives, our once a week show where we talk about what happened last week on Random Encounters, Disasters and Danger, the show that we do here. We have, of course, myself, Eric, and up top.
Oh, I'm up top. See, I'm next to you on mine.
Oh, sorry.
I'm guessing it's me.
Yes, it is you.
Oh, okay. Megan. This is going great. This is going great, y'all.
Starting strong.
Come here for the stories. Stay for the production value.
This table. Where am I, Eric? Where am I? Where am I on the screen? Am I on top? Am I? Oh, is that? See, on my screen, I'm next to you. Oh, I'm so sorry, Megan.
And then, of course, we are your hosts for this lovely, lovely show. And today we do have some announcements.
Yes, so we're gonna get announcements. First of all, we also have a very special guest, Carlos, who plays Those in Fahrenheit on Monday.
It was gonna be a surprise.
Huh?
It was gonna be a surprise.
I was trying to creep in on the side and like just tiptoe in the
Sorry,
room.
I spoiled the surprise. Yeah, so announcements. Our Monday night game is brought to you lovingly by Norse Foundry. They make amazing not custom dice, metal dice, gemstone dice, aluminum dice. They also work with Elderwood Academy to do wonderful dice boxes and dice vaults. We have a special code with them. If you use REPRPG, you get 15% off, which is nothing to sneeze at. And since Valentine's Day is coming up for the geek in your life that you love so much, go ahead and use that code to get them some dice. Remember, it's always bad luck to buy your own opals. Buy them for someone you love. Or buy them for yourself, and then remember that's why they're rolling shittily, and then give them to your DM. Either way.
Who then uses them to crush you.
Yeah, because then you're gifting them.
Yeah, the opal dice I gave Cody, they only roll great.
No more.
Sad panda sounds. Tomorrow night we are in with Diablo season 22 as we continue the slog. We are so close to getting the book pet, y'all. We're so close we can smell the pages. I'm so excited. So it's myself, Cody, Matthew, and Wisser. We're in about 8 o'clock to start that fun run. And then Sunday, Wisser is back with some Mass Effect Andromeda. The Mass Effect reboot, not the reboot, but the
remaster
is June now. Yes? Is that the date they gave us?
I did not see the date, but I do know that it was announced officially.
And it's this year.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun, especially because I just bought all 3 Mass Effect games on the last Steam sale. Womp womp.
Well, you know, it'll save you some money on the redo. I'm trying and then Monday we are back with some more Disasters and Danger to pick up at the fight that we just started at the end of last game, which also, Carlos, you can't be critted on.
No, I can't.
No.
So he rolled a 20 on you. It shouldn't have worked.
Oh, I totally forgot. Well,
I mean, he's re-rolling the damage anyway, but just...
I was going to say, I'm looking at my character sheet, and I haven't lost any hit points. I don't know why I pulled it up, by the way, like we're playing.
Well, I'm gonna ask what your spells are.
Okay.
Yeah, because he critted on you, but he shouldn't have.
Yeah, I would have just gotten straight damage then.
Yeah, I mean, please know that like woke me up at 2 o'clock a couple of days ago. I was like, "You're wearing adamantium plated, can't be crit."
Oh, yeah, it says immune to critical hits right there. Look at that.
Yeah, Sirach paid really heavily for that armor, so just remember that. Then on Tuesday we have creative. Remember Tuesdays this week. This past week that just happened, Caitlin did a really cool writing workshop, and she answered a lot of questions about how to get published, how to work through creative blocks and things like that. So it's well worth your time. And Wednesday we did a character build for Malifaux. So I think we're going to be continuing that on Wednesdays, which is fucking dope, y'all. I would say go and watch it, but it was a patron only stream. So become a patron so that you can go back and watch it. It's a really cool, it's like diesel punk, steampunk, western, gothic, Victorian, horror, Cthulhu, western. It's everything.
It's
a
bunch of stuff
in this world. It's everything that's good in this world put into one game. So please check it out. And then on Thursday we'll be back again, myself and Eric, discussing hopefully the not the TPK that happened on Monday's game.
No, the
victory.
The rousingly easy fight, considering how we thought it started, where it goes off incredibly smoothly without a hit.
Yeah, and last two things, these are really, really personal. Not really, really personal, but we want to say happy birthday to Jinxie Rose. She is an old friend and a streamer who's been on. She's been on with us a couple of times. So we love you very much, honey, and I hope the Cephalus Squad is taking care of you. And a huge congratulations to Keith, his beautiful wife Krista, big brother Finn, and their brand new baby Charlotte. Mom and 8 pounds 8 ounces. She came out big enough to vote.
God dang.
Yeah, yeah. Krista is doing fine. Everyone is doing fine, and she's beautiful, and everyone's really excited. So congratulations, you guys.
Congratulations! Oh, Meg, is there any chance you could play with your camera for a second?
She looks fine on my end.
Not on the stream.
I look like a Manet painting on the Twit.
Yeah.
I've never looked better, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't know what is causing this problem. See? Perfect. No problems.
If anyone knows what's causing this problem, feel free to let us know.
Yes, right in the chat. And Carlos, do you have anything you would like to announce?
Check us out on Junk Drawer. That's my other streaming service that I am a part of. We are about to start a very interesting, what's the word I'm looking for? Potentially a TPK as well. All my games are TPKs, by the way. Like literally every single game I'm in, which we were mentioning earlier, I'm in 4. All of them have hit like that a climax version, and not in a good way, like where everything is about to hit the fan, and so we're essentially entering the God Wars. So we'll see how that goes. But you can check us out at Junk Drawer, right? Like it's a long story. 2 of our parties are god, and spoilers. And yeah, we didn't know they were gods. One of them didn't know he was a god, and yeah. Anyways, it's a mess.
You're not a god.
All right. So you can check that out at the Junk Drawer Show on Twitch and YouTube. And obviously, like if you're catching Random Encounters on Tuesdays, we also drop our episodes on Thursdays on YouTube.
Very nice.
So one of the things I'm really excited about tonight is that both of y'all are note takers during game.
Yeah.
That's what you think. I look
fucking
like,
liar. You say you take notes.
Oh, I take like the shittiest notes. Like, hold on. For some reason, I wrote Tome of Leadership and Charisma, and I cannot even tell you who, why, what, when, and like what that means.
Oh, I can. That's the book that we got me that I can't fucking use. I'm not bitter about it or anything.
Okay.
That's the worst clack fan ever.
I have Post-its. I have like it's a clusterfuck.
I
There's a
can't
bunch of like
tell-
scratch out stuff.
I
like,
can't tell if
it's
those
a
are
mess.
notes or if those are like the recent orders you've taken at a Denny's. Like I'm
I
not
was
sure.
gonna say they look like deli receipts.
Yes. I used to take really good notes, and I had like whatchamacallit, with some Andriel, I had like a composition notebook that I would
actually-
like write everything in.
So, fun story. regarding that notebook, I have that notebook. Or if not the Samandriel one, I have Thozin's beginning of a notebook because it was like one of the last days we streamed, and so I had because we hadn't yet decided that we weren't going to be meeting up anymore, and so I had left my dice, my boxes, and my notebook at Caitlin's, and then we were kind of like, hey, we're going to be going fully digital. So I was like, oh, I got to stop by and I got to get my dice and everything. So I went by, I picked up my dice tray, and there was a notebook in it. Now I take notes in a notebook, so I was like, cool, that's my notebook. And then I put it in my car and I get back home and I realized there are two notebooks in it. There is my notebook, and then there is another one that has big letters that I did not see that say Thozin on them.
The hell if I remember what the hell I wrote in that notebook. Like
You know
again, I
what?
used
Let's find.
have fun with that because honestly, like I know with Samandria, I used to take notes about everything, and then whenever like we obviously started this campaign, I was like, well, let me be good, let me be diligent, and actually like do good notes. And I I tried, and then ADHD just kicked in, and a mixture of that with dyslexia, and I'm one of those people that I get so either very caught into the moment of the game, or my ADD kicks in, and it's like, what did I eat for lunch? That I am horrible at taking notes. Like, there's been times that I'm pretty sure that we've played, and all of a sudden, Cody's like, Thousand, and I'm like, oh shit, I have no idea what the hell just happened. Like, and it wasn't like it's just the way my brain works.
He is also in game mixed up Talroth and Thozin.
And I'm
So have
very
you.
grateful for those moments when he says my name and he means Talroth, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let me get back here and actually pay attention.
I
See,
actually,
my problem with note taking was that I sit next to Matthew. So like the first day, I was taking notes and I looked over and saw that for like every quarter page I had, he was already 2 pages in of detailing down. I was like, I fuck it. Matthew exists. I'm good.
And I'm also bad with it because like I take notes on what Thosin would know. So like for example, the days that I'm not there, like I'm really bad. And again, I need to be better at this. I'm kicking myself in the foot. That's why I want to start watching the archive myself. Because I obviously life takes over and I can't always catch Mondays whenever I'm not here. So whenever I come back, I'm always like, so what happened? And I'm like, well, Thousand theoretically wasn't there, but theoretically the party is together. So it's like, ah, shit.
so I've had that same problem that you have. I mean, I'm lucky that I don't have anything happening on Mondays. Like Monday is my Saturday. But like what'll happen is I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch the stream because I want to support, I want to love, and I want to, be everything about that. But I'm also like, I'll be doing something else as I'm doing that, and I don't necessarily like pick up on things, and so like I'll just be doing like. I'll be like on Destiny, like managing my inventory and just kind of mindlessly. And then I hear things like, all right, well, how about a game of strip poker? And I'm like, how'd we get there? Like, because, like, there was a portion, like, of meeting Velxer and strip poker. There was a middle section where I wasn't paying enough attention. And then when I found, that's when I got pulled back in, and I was like, well, okay, something big's happening. And so, like, that same thing. I wanted to take really detailed notes. I actually was talking about someone trying to put together like a disasters and danger wiki, and like whenever a new character give like location something about them, and I was planning on it, and then like I have really good first notes, and then they just same thing. I was like,
Oh, for me they just go downhill. Like I'm gonna look for the notes that I took this last session if I even wrote any.
And I love that both of y'all, I'm the one that you would come to and be like, so what the hell happened?
yes.
And then I'd tell you, and you'd still have the audacity to show up in game and be like, so guys, what went on? I'm sorry. I fucking told you. But that's okay.
Because
Eric
I also have
underestimated
an audacity about
me.
calling you a healer.
Well, because I'm not. I'm simply a pretty face. Let's talk about Thosen since he is our he's our main tank. He's our only healer.
I didn't.
I would. Treasure's
No?
pretty tanky.
Oh no.
Oh, but
Technically.
Treasure's not here.
He's our tank. He's our only healer.
Oh my god.
He's the well. It's unfortunate, but that man. My question is, who does he go to with his back problem since he's clearly carrying the entire team?
He doesn't. He sucks it the fuck up. He's like Atlas. He's just on my knees carrying the world. Here we go.
If he fucking could smoke, I really feel like he would. I'm so fucking tired with all of you people. Do you understand me? And like when we got new character art. Kez is working on our 1-year character art updates, and Thosen's hair has gone completely gray. And
It really has.
I love that for like so many reasons, but I really think it's just like, why is your hair gray? Gestures to the group.
Just this in general.
No reason. No reason. And just looks around the campfire at every single one.
Let's since we are talking about it, let's talk about what actually transpired in the game on Wednesday. I mean Monday. Yeah, let's go and talk about it. Let's talk about it. We start up on the 4th of Savages, and we had some really good character moments. We had some really nice character moments. We saw Thunderbird.
A snow thunderbird?
Yeah,
Ice thunderbird?
Articuno.
Iced mocha frappuccino. I don't know. Articuno and Zapdos had a baby, something like that.
What are these things? Are these Pokemons?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
Articuno
sorry,
and Zapdos
yes.
are Pokemans. Yes.
Hold on. I'll look it up.
Okay. No, I think they've been put in chat, but like when you
I
say
did
the
put it
names,
in
I'm
chat.
like, y'all stroking out? I don't know what these words are.
I choose you.
I choose you, Pikachu.
Baxter, you know I don't speak Spanish. So yeah, but we found out some terrifying information about Wyatt, fuckboy extraordinaire.
He got captured. Thanks to
He
a
did.
sending spell from Thosen.
Which I actually have the reply right here.
Understand? What was it? The first word was unsure. Was that it?
Unsure is the very first
Because
word.
it's where are you?
Correct. Because
Yeah.
I asked him where was he, if he could give us some form of location and, to rendezvous and whatnot. And that he was unsure that the caravan should have reached the tower. However, they were attacked by hobgoblins. And then he just said, working with, no. And then I think that's where like my ADD kicked in and I couldn't write as fast as Cody could talk. And then he put things stolen, chess set included.
Oh, that chess set.
Oh, and he was hurt badly and please help, but fuck that. More mainly about the chest.
Bleeding out slowly. Life has become dim pinprick of light. Chest gone.
Yes, but where is the chess set? I will heal you when we find it.
I mean, I did immediately put in chat as that happened. I put in chat, well, it looks like our Wyatt problem is about to solve itself. And then he's like, chess set missing. And I was like, well, guess we're getting Wyatt back.
It's like, well, I reckon I should heal you.
We don't hate Wyatt.
Anymore. As
No.
much. I mean, we did. We did at one point.
Okay, I think y'all need to stop globbing on to my hate star. Okay, I hated Wyatt because he was an obnoxious little prick.
I know,
But he was never
but we
terrible to the rest of you.
No, not. But it's not a matter about being terrible. It's about a matter of supporting your friends, and sometimes that means irrationally hating a person for absolutely no reason other than the fact that your friend hates that person.
If you do friendship the way I do it, that's not a sometimes thing. That's an always thing.
That's true friendship.
But yeah, so they were attacked. It looks like the caravan that was going to the forge. The wildlings made it.
Yes.
Um,
I'm not sure if most everybody didn't make it.
I know that Wyatt and some people
Yeah.
take, but they were attacked by hobgoblins that were being led by the Pale Brothers, who are the bounty hunters that are after treasure. So we kind of put two and two together, figured out that the only reason they were there was because of treasure's connection with the
caravan.
So they're either and we they went to the caravan first, couldn't
Yeah.
find her there, and has Wyatt and possibly others in cages. They're being tortured.
So I think the Pale Brothers, if I'm not mistaken, is not just two brothers. It's an actual group. It's a assassin group.
I don't know. We've only dealt with two.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the two we dealt with are different than because we didn't kill those ones, right?
Well,
Did we?
no.
I was not
Well,
there for that game.
they bamfed back to the Shadow Plane.
Okay, I'm not.
Because they weren't. They were called something like the two was in the title, so I feel like it is just the two of them, and they hired out hobgoblins, like you do.
Yeah, I know they were working with the hobgoblins, but yeah, so they and if it is just the two of them, then yeah, that time frame where they attack them, they got Wyatt and some people, they have them in cages, they're torturing them, they get the information of where we are, they come down to us, and I don't know why you don't just so they come down to us, they don't get us, so they bamf away.
We injured one of them, like knocked him unconscious. So the other one grabbed him, and they went back to the Shadow Plane.
All right.
In this scenario, by the way, Wyatt is Smeagol. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Treasure! Extract! Like, that's just what's happening. And then these fucking Nazgul
just
albino matrix twin hybrids just show up.
So
that's literally what I will see them as from now on. Is just the twins, the albinos, and the Matrix 2. That's literally all.
With the dreads and everything.
Cody had like this wonderful descriptor for them, I'm sure. But the minute he went, so it's two Pale Brothers, they're assassins, and I was like, oh, you mean the albinos from the Matrix? And he's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe not the dreads and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's the
albinos from the Matrix.
Description done. I don't need any more. Thanks.
So that's what they are from now on.
I'm still gonna picture them with dreads.
Cody probably had like the most beautiful piece of descriptive prose prepped and ready, and I was like, "Well, albinos from the Matrix."
What's up, Eric? What's your question? I don't know. Saint E Love says, "I have a question," and then
I know that's Eric.
That's who?
That's Eric.
No, I'm Eric.
No, that's Saint E Love. He's Eric too.
Eric, I didn't know you could be in two places at once.
Eric, don't you know? That's also Eric.
What a weird thing if I just went ahead and asked us a question from the chat using my own Twitch handle. I have a question.
A glitch in the Matrix. Eh? Oh, speaking of glitching.
Speaking of glitching in the Matrix. There she is. She's back.
She's back.
So, Saint E Love is Eric, who I'm just finding out. Yes, what is the question that you have?
But this, Eric, if you ever do that, if you ever go into chat and ask a question, I'm gonna need you to put on a fake mustache.
Just while I'm doing it.
Oh, it looks like we have a question from Feminod. Hold on real quick. Yes.
In the third episode. Ask away.
While we wait,
Yes.
um,
Wait.
So the Pale brothers, they have them in cages, and so we took our horses and our buggies and our companions, and we went up.
8 days.
Yeah, 8 days of travel. We're
Mm-hmm.
ooh. I'm making a shopkeeper who loves making unique magic items. One of them is level scrolls of misspelling. My question is, I know everyone can use a scroll one time, but say the spell can only be used by a bard. Can someone who is a bard also learn that spell, or can only wizards do that?
So for scrolls, anyone can cast them. If you have the ability to cast a spell, you can use the scroll, but you can't actually learn it. Yeah, wizards are the only ones that can learn spells from
Warlocks as well. Tome.
the Warlock's Pact to the Tome
Pact
Pack
of
of
the
the
Tome.
Tome because
Yeah,
your tome acts like a wizard's
spell
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 book.
book. Yeah.
Aha. Well, then there you go. But they're the only ones that can like learn spells at random times. Every other class gets them at level up.
So yeah, so in the same way, yeah, only for that, even though it's a bard spell, a wizard would be able to learn it, but only a wizard. A cleric, even though everything they wouldn't be able to.
A
Um,
cleric would be able to cast it
yes, they'd be
off
able to
of the
cast it,
scroll, though they
but
wouldn't be able to keep it.
exactly.
Correct.
Um, let's see. What else? What else? So, yeah, 8 days later, I'm also working on Wireball and Plaque. God, I love everything about this.
I'm excited for Tidal Rave, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
no, this is all. Oh my God, I just wanna. I now want to make a dyslexic wizard as a character.
I mean, that's just me in real life, just without the magic.
But
Oh
just.
god.
That's just me. Welcome.
Oh yeah, throw details in there. We'd love to hear about this.
What, my dyslexia?
No, no,
No,
no,
Eric,
Eric.
no,
He says
Oh.
he says want details.
Come
Yes,
on, Carlos.
Carlos.
No, that's about dyslexia. Let's chill. No, fuck
Carlos.
off.
It's
No.
wonderful. It's wonderful having you here. Could you possibly delve deeper into your dyslexia and how it affects your life on a daily basis?
And how does this make you feel?
Yes. Would you
I
like
see you're
to?
on a couch already. Just go ahead, kick your feet up. Let's do this right.
Exactly. You know what? I'm looking for Wireball first. I want to know what Wireball does. That's my go-to right now.
Is this a
Plaque.
magic item?
No,
It's a spell. There's spells that he's making for his campaign.
he's making scrolls of misspelling. And so basically they are scrolls of spells, but they are one letter off. So instead of fireball, it's wireball. Instead of plague, it's plaque. And instead of tidal wave, it's tidal rave.
See, this is where, because the spells are custom, obviously, and this is where, obviously, not being able to learn them unless being a wizard or Pack of the Tome Warlock, this is where DM kind of has to, it's the DM's choice, in my personal opinion, whether or not that person can learn it in another way, because these are spells that they're not going to be able to learn because they don't obviously currently exist in the current spell list. I feel like since they are custom item, it would be a custom choice from the DM. So
That's fucking fair.
Yeah, I see what you say there. Um, but yeah, so we spent 8 days. We went up and slightly to the east to get to the part where they were taken, and we found where they were taken. And
By
it,
ends.
but okay, we don't know that yet.
By
I mean,
ends.
we know that now, but in the time frame, we just saw like a bunch of stuff. We got some good investigation and survival checks, and we found some definite hobgoblin tracks, but we found some other tracks that kind of led off, and I was able to convince Cody to kind of let us know that it was indeed um, phase spider tracks that we were following.
Which that we know because they kicked our ass. The brothers use them as tracking animals.
And then we went into the forest, and as we got into the forest, we found.
Ants.
Okay, yes, we found Ents. We got Treebeard. He's in here, and he's about to kick our ass.
Except that he has vines because interestingly enough, it's just me and Thozen are restrained.
Grappled.
which is crazy
Whatever.
because it's what you two do in the meantime usually anyways.
You're not wrong.
How is it to be the first two characters to in this campaign to kind of form a relationship? Because I know I wanted to say I mean essentially you lusted after Thozen like moment you met him.
Well, the minute the character art dropped, I was like, I'm fucking that.
No, it was the funniest thing because she messaged me. She's like, "Hey, so how would you feel about this?" And I'm like, you know what? With like Thozen's story and everything, and I told her I was like, I think at this moment this is how he would feel about it, and so I knew right off the get go he was gonna be so oblivious because of his backstory. He is not the best with human interaction. Like he's very socially awkward. Even though I don't play him that way, just because more of Carlos comes across.
Yeah.
But I see him more socially awkward, so he wouldn't catch the cues of someone liking him, and it would be almost like in his face, and he would just be like, phew. And like I would message back and just be like, yeah, no, he would totally be oblivious, like 100%.
Oh,
But it was fun.
we got an update on Wireball. Wireball can be cast as Fireball, but the dex save is to avoid becoming either stunned for a round, i.e., like tangled up, or stunned until they succeed a strength check to get out of the wire. There is no damage, and luckily the group I'm making it for has no wizard. What do y'all think of it?
I kind of like that. That's
Yeah.
a nice little trip up.
I would definitely. I like the. Yeah. Obviously, if it's a God dang it. If it's a scroll, usually they have like DC saves of about 13 or so. And so, yeah, for like a succeed a strength save, I definitely like they're stunned until they succeed a strength check. Because I'm just imagining you just constantly like just tangled and you can't get and you're just trying to rip
Just
your way
making
out.
it worse.
Yeah.
I'm getting images of like Dorothy Gale when she falls in the pig pen in the beginning of Wizard of Oz, but
Yep.
she's like stuck in the wire mesh or whatever, like the wire. I never understood why they were freaking the fuck out about that for the longest time. I think it was until I found out that that pigs eat people.
Okay. Pigs
And that's what
can eat people.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they don't have
Pigs
a
eat
14-year-old.
people.
They don't have a 14-year-old idiot and her stupid fucking munchable dog running around the farm with ravenous man-eating pigs. They're not that stupid. Although I kind of wish they did now, but
That
like,
would have made a totally different movie, man.
Heck of a beginning
Oz
to that
makes
film.
sense. Shit, Dorothy, you okay?
But yeah, so right now we are getting plagued upon by Ents. And that's gonna be fun. It's really gonna be fun.
I wrote the trees bend to military will and march to their master. Their ends.
So I think I also found out in today's game, in Monday's game, and I just don't know if I hadn't been paying attention before, that Thozen has an ex-wife and a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thozen has a 15-year-old daughter, and he does have an ex-wife. Sarai knows all this, but I think I may have mentioned it like.
By the way,
randomly.
when did you tell her about all this? Because this is my favorite part. Do you want me to remind you?
Please do, because God knows my memory is shit.
I was about to
The
say, is it
minute-
not in your notes?
This was pillow talk the minute after they started fucking the first time. the first night she came to visit him and like begged him to sleep with her, and they
Visit.
did.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh god, that was great. So used to be married, definitely have a daughter. You want some water?
Dude, that's like, again, I made him socially awkward. So it's like those people that literally just live like for work and they don't interact with any human beings. And the first interaction with one, you're just like, oh my God, how are you? Oh my God, this is my life. And they just tell you everything about themselves. Yeah, that's Thozen. Like, it was like, oh my God, somebody that will actually listen to what I'm talking about. This is my life.
I'm like, it's fucking great. It's just at some point I was like, what? Megan's pretty sure she slept with this guy at this point. Like, God, that was great. Let me tell you about my life. I'm married currently. What the fuck?
Oh, we got updates on Tidal Rave. Tidal Rave is a combination of Tidal Wave and Irresistible Dance. The area of Tidal Wave, but anyone caught in it has to roll to resist the urge to dance.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
God,
I love that.
so good.
I'm getting big Water Mania vibes from
Y-
that.
Just, I mean,
Oh,
honestly,
Watermania.
like Waterman, the only thing I get with Tidal Rave is I get my name's Winifred, what's yours? It's just, yeah, it's massive.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I put a spell on you. Now you're mine.
Oh my God, amazing.
But yeah, no, as I'm
not
reading
gonna
that,
sing because my
that's-
singing is horrible.
It's that spell without the messy component of Sarah Jessica Parker having to be there.
I'm Sarah Jessica Parker on the side.
I, they, Siska, Pi, Alpha, Beta, up and die.
What? What? Okay, so D&D.
um, But yeah.
Thozen used to be married.
mhm.
So it's long time ago. He
At least 15 years.
at least 15 years, yeah. Because Thozen is 45, I think is what I made him.
Yeah.
So he's 45.
I thought he was like 47 now.
Oh, probably. Oh, yeah, because it's been a couple years since him and his ex-wife split. Yeah, so he's about 47. But you are right. But Thozen, so it all starts with like, I mean, it starts really at the beginning because, long story short, his dad was a half orc. His mom was a tiefling. Hence the reason why he is a half orc tiefling.
Yeah.
And every time that we see half orcs, I always see them as human and orc. And I'm like, you know what? So me and Cody got together and we decided, let's play with something, like a mixed race thing. Because I like to create characters that are totally obscure. Oh no,
She'll be back.
But
I believe in her.
yeah, and she's heard all of this. So, needless to say, fast forward, his weapon of choice is a mace. It's not magical of any way, shape, or form. It's more sentimental because of the history behind it. But while he was getting the stuff to create said mace, it's obsidian, and he went into a volcano with an adventuring party that was assisting him. And while he was collecting the obsidian, he slipped and misfooted, and that's where he fell into the lava. They were able to pull him out, but that's where he got 90, or what is it, the whole entire right side of his body burned up. And because
whole
of
entire right side. Yeah.
the whole right side. So if I always say like, yes, you know what I mean.
I do.
But no, okay, I see what you did there. I mean, you don't know, Sarai does. So
Shared the picture.
she does have the pictures. Anyways, let's anyways. I'm blushing. So whenever he got hurt, like, yes, he didn't die because, again, thankfully being a tiefling, he has resistance to fire. However, he still got really scarred up. So Damaris is the half-orc healer that took care of him during his recovery. He pretty much changed his wounds, all that stuff, for like 6 months. So he was like she was the only humanoid interaction that he's had for such a long time. And during the time of him healing, he actually like grew to care about this woman and eventually fell in love, and they got married. So Damaris is his ex-wife, who is also she's a half orc and a healer. I don't think she's a cleric, but she's a healer of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so that was his ex-wife. Like, she's still around. I just over time, long story short, there's a whole bunch of story behind there. They kind of, little by little, they had Liara, which was their daughter, or is their daughter, and so she's a green half orc tiefling like Thosin is, and so over time, uh, he kind of fell into the same boat as his father's did. He almost let his father's history kind of shape him as well, where he would spend more time in the forge than he would be paying attention to his wife. And so over time, they just saw things differently, and he wanted to explore the world instead of staying in one place. And so they kind of grew distant, and they decided that they weren't working out together. However, they would still keep in touch and be in good graces with each other for their daughter, so that she would still at least be in both of their lives. And so he up and left because he wanted to do adventuring like how his mother had done before him, and have some stories to be able to be prideful of and tell his daughter whenever he got back. So yeah, so that was Thosin's ex-wife, and then yeah, Liara should be around 15 now. So uh, who knows if we'll ever meet her or anything, but and then there's a bunch of other stuff there, but I don't want to like just dump everything all at once.
So let me ask you this. I'm sorry, Megan. Just real quickly, where uh where did they live in Dorian's Dawn, or like were they part of the school as well, or?
No, they weren't. Dorian's Dawn is where he ended up, because obviously as a part of being an adventurer, like you need money, and so Thosin ended up in Dorian's Dawn as a. He's not really a teacher. He's more as like a craftsman. He's all. I don't know what to call him. Like, he's like a master that he teaches, but he's not really a teacher.
He's like a grad student.
Yeah, but without having to have graduated, he's someone with experience to help the students there learn the craft as well. So he's almost like is it a PA or a TA or like teacher's
Yeah,
assistant?
it's like a PA.
Yeah, he's almost like a teacher's assistant, just without ever having to go to the school, because his father was a blacksmith as well. That's why he has the craft of being a blacksmith. So that's where he just ended up after traveling, leaving his wife and daughter behind. And yes, but he's not originally from Dorian's Dawn, right? Is that what name? Yeah.
Dorian's Dawn, yeah.
But yeah, no, he's not
Anyone?
originally from there.
Is anyone from Dorian's Dawn?
I
I
mean,
don't think anyone is.
Oh wait, Dorian's Dawn is the area.
It's the town like that the Magnus is just outside
Oh,
of.
okay, yeah. No, he's not from there. For
I
some
don't
reason,
think-
like I spaced out and I thought it was like the continent or like the region, or I was like, oh
No,
shit,
I don't-
wait, no, wait.
I don't think anyone is originally from Dorian's Dawn. I think we're all transplants.
oh yeah, 100%. I'm from the Republic.
But Thosin had been in Dorian's Dawn for at least a year before all of this happened. Like, so he had been there for a while. He's just not originally from there.
No, I just suddenly had that. It's like, wait, fuck! I don't think any of us are from. What the hell? All right.
I think
well,
Wait a minute.
I think I was the closest to being there as long, or from exactly.
which makes sense. Yeah.
I am there. I got so many ideas, but I'm just like so Megan, you obviously you saw the character art and you said, and I quote earlier in this exact very show, I'm gonna fuck him. How did you propose that to Carlos? Was it just like, hey, we going to do nasty, or was it slightly more classy than that?
I would like to say it was. This was like a year and a half ago, so I can't remember what I did yesterday. Um,
Well, this was also like our friendship in real life has like grown and we've gotten closer in real life. So
Yes.
I feel like if this conversation would have come out now, that's probably how it would have gone.
oh, it
But
wouldn't
like
have
we
even been
were
a question.
still. Oh yeah,
Because
exactly.
it isn't now. Because it isn't now. Like, you know how sometimes when he's not there, and like, so whenever I've decided that this is a thing now, because everybody in the group knows, everybody in the group knows that
Oh,
they're
I
fucking,
love
or that
this.
they're, together. Whenever she gets frustrated, mainly because people aren't listening to her, or they feel like she's not the healer, and that she's just, empty space in a, because she's also like
And
Talroth is
who would think that? Who would ever think that?
a bird brain. I
Rude.
don't feel good about that, but it happened. But like, she's having some self-esteem issues. She's going through some stuff. When she gets frustrated, she just finds those and fucks them.
Yeah, like
And
I'm literally like who she takes all her frustrations out on.
Yep. And I at least do him the courtesy. I don't ask. I just send him messages at the end of the show or to the game. I was like, by the way, Thosen got laid this episode. Good night.
And I'm like, what's new? But no, honestly, like not trying to like interject on the question for Meg, but like it was pretty like a nice way to asking, you know. She like went ahead and messaged me and was like, hey, so how would you feel about, you know, kind of doing a romantic partnership between myself and, you know, your character? And I was like, what do you have in mind? And so when she started like proposing the ideas, like I would honestly like tell her, I'm like, okay, well, just know that Thosen is like completely oblivious at first, which I did it on purpose. And every time that she would be shy about it, like I would be like, I, as Carlos, knew what was happening because, especially me and Meg, there would be some times that we would message each other and be like, hey, how would you feel about this? How would you feel about that? And we kind of had an idea. We almost had like a side story happening between, like, you know, what my emotions or what our conversations would be when we're off alone. And we would almost like RP on the side just by messaging back and forth as
Yep.
those in it to ride so that we would be on the same page of different things. And then afterwards, kind of clarify me as Carlos, letting her know, hey, this is probably what's going through Thosen's head and this and that and the other. And that way we can still have that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Connection between the two, and we didn't have to like RP at all because I felt like, well, one, two people RP for a long period of time could be a lot, but like it's just easier doing it this way.
Yeah, and it gave us opportunities to do stuff like their first time together, which I'm a big fan of. I think it's a really really sweet moment, but it's written down. It's in the Discord, so we have like a lot of those. A lot of their relationship is written down is off screen because I don't know, like it's there if you guys want to see it. Like they're clear that we still have moments in game,
Hmm.
but it doesn't have to be
A full-on fuckfest in the middle of like a campaign.
or just like a soap opera romance happening whilst we're fighting dragons or a mysterious lack of dragons.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
fuck.
Which of
Well,
course he has to reiterate at the beginning of the game. Oh my god.
And I don't even feel like
Good.
that's a thing where he's like, well, just to remind you guys, it's more like y'all were too stupid to get this. I'm rubbing your faces in it.
Like I will promise you, I I can honestly say, having taken as many notes that I have taken about this campaign, I have nowhere in my notes did I pick up on the fact that Lickdrock was the land of dragons. I didn't, like, that's me. That's on me, and I will take that up personally. But I never picked up on him saying that. So when he was like, "Yeah, Lickdrock, the land of dragons," you haven't seen one dragon, and I'm just like,
See, and I knew it was because I remember him saying it once. I remember him saying Lickdrock is the land of dragons. Never did it. I kind of was just thinking, well, we're really low level. We shouldn't see a dragon right
That's what I was thinking too. Who the hell throws like, especially when we're starting what at a level 5? Yeah, let's just throw you at like an adult or an ancient. Like I'm right there with you. I thought we were just too low of a level for him to send that towards us.
Listen, I've been playing D&D with Cody for about 6 years now, and I should know better. There is no low level for dragons and Cody. If you are stupid enough to poke one, you get one.
Who almost? I mean, I wanted the Shiloh slash Cody NPC love scenes. Look, I mean, I will honestly say I don't know what it is. I've never, in my many years of playing D&D, I've never felt I don't I don't even know if it's confident, but I've never felt like the ability to go up to a person and be like, "Hey, our two characters should get together." I don't know if it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's me being like embarrassed or shy or whatever. I know you can obviously tell I'm incredibly shy, but it's like
But you're making great strides.
I'm telling you, every day, I'd say hello to one new person every day. But but I've never had that like ability to go up to another person and be like, "Hey, our characters kind of get along well. Maybe they'd get along really well." And but that being said, I have zero problems whatsoever romancing a DM. I will romance a DM from here to the moon.
It's funny because I've had like every variation as you can think of now, especially like the only one that I've never experienced was a P and P. Yeah, is it player and player? I was
I
like,
misunderstood what
wait,
you were
sorry.
saying.
I went somewhere else with it. A player and player romance is the only thing that I had never personally as a player done. Because I've actually one of my characters in the one of the 4 campaigns that I do is asexual. Like every time that they talk about any form of romance or whatnot, he's not interested in men. He's not interested in women. Like he's just love is the last thing that's on his mind. Like he just wants to experience the beauty of nature and life. Like so that's
Hmm.
just so he's more of an asexual being. And then Thok, which is the player character I play in the Junk Drawer, originally started out that way, and more of Carlos kept going into Thok. So I was like, you know what would be awesome is to have the 6'10", 3/4 orc, giant cleric slash barbarian hybrid be in a relationship with a man, just because it's like everyone I wanted to like kind of break that stigma of gay men have to be feminine. And yes, me as Carlos am a very feminine person. Whenever I'm like in a social situation, I'm actually, my brother's a mechanic. My father's a computer programmer. I've learned how to flip houses, and so I have a good balance between what I consider feminine and masculine, because I can build a house by myself if I wanted to, like because that's what I grew up around. I grew up around tools and mechanics and stuff. So I I pride myself on being as feminine as I am, but at the same time being able to like teeter that line of masculinity as well. So with Thok, I did make him a gay character, and that one is in love with an NPC. And I made his partner someone he's a water ganassi. So first of all, Thok is 6'10", his boyfriend's like 5'7", so it's like this huge height difference.
Is that the art of the guy punching Thok?
No, that's actually so that's a girl, and she's his. So Thok is a sailor as well. He's a captain of a ship, and she's his first mate. And he kind of like mouthed off to her, and that's the first time they reconnected. And she punched him in the face,
Yeah.
like really badly. The one with Tiburon, which is Thok's now, his boyfriend, his partner. That art should be dropping soon, because after a year real life, sometime in game, they finally, this last episode that happened this past Tuesday, which if you go on YouTube you can watch it because it's live now as of today. They finally reconnected for the first time, like since this campaign started in this portion of the campaign. So So that I drew that art like a year ago, but we haven't dropped it yet because we didn't want to spoil anything for any of the viewers or any of the fans. And so like now that we're there, things are starting to get dropped. But anyways, going sorry, I just took that conversation somewhere else. But but going back, so this is my first player with player, and ironically enough, it was never a thought that I personally had to having a romantic relationship with another player in game. And when Megan brought it up, like I loved it because I was like, well, I've never played a straight character because obviously straight is not what I am in real life. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, obviously there's never gonna really be a romantic connection in real life with Megan, so I wouldn't, be confused about that. And I'm like, we would be like, if anything, me and Megan have very similar taste in men, which is even
Yep.
more fun because especially drawing this character art, because I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, ooh, yes, I like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Um, and so it kind of worked very well, and we were able to play off each other very well. And even the awkwardness at the beginning with Thozen and Saride, part of the awkwardness of Carlos came through because I'm like, I've never played straight, so I'm like, why not? Let's try it. Like,
Yeah.
sure, this is fantasy. Let's try things that we've never done before.
And I'll be honest, the whole reason that this started was just because that like I wasn't going to. Sarad was just going to exist, and I was going to focus on playing a caster for the first time in my fucking life. And then that fucking art dropped, and I was like, well, okay. And I was just thirsty enough and not give a fuck enough to be like, hey, Carlos, so I don't know you very well. Um, do you mind if I ride your character?
I was just like, okay. And then like Megan would like give me like she would type up different stories and stuff and send them to me, and I was just like, okay. I'm like, this is this is legit.
I was waiting for the moment of just like him realizing, oh god, oh, she's, oh,
No, but see,
she's way more into this than I thought.
this is the thing. If anything, I'm very grateful because I feel like the real life relationship of me and Megan.
Yes, and I'm really thankful for that. I've told him 1,000 times, um, just how cool I think he is, and how thankful I was he showed up on stream, and how much we were like low key fighting over him backstage, and to try to be his friend.
Yeah, no,
Matthew,
100%.
Matthew and I are still fighting over him.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, it's understandable.
yeah.
Can. It's funny because it's not that hard to be my friend. As long as you listen to me ramble and talk, and again, I don't shut the hell up. Like, congratulations, you're my friend. Like it doesn't take much. Like, I'm not like a very interesting person. I'm just,
Oh, you shut the fuck up
How
right
dare you?
I'm not like,
I
if anything,
ca-
I
I'm
know where you live.
annoying.
I will come over and slap you. Don't fucking dare. So anyway,
So,
yeah,
Thozen's daughter. Let's talk about this daughter. She's hey 200 gold right there on
wait,
stream.
it's 200.
I
Is it
thought
a
it was
I thought it was 50.
no. I thought it was at least 100.
I've been
Cody.
gifting myself 50 every time I put like
Cody?
if it lands in my drink, I say that counts. And I got real because for a long time, the only thing I was texting him was pictures of smushed bugs. So I was
So
like,
he's
"Ah."
just like, I trust you.
Yeah, I was like, it's 50 gold. It's okay. It's not like I'm
It's
doing
double if you drink it.
Oh,
it's 50
there,
gold and a protein boost.
there once was a lady that swallowed a fly. But yeah, so this daughter is 15. Which is, I mean, if we're talking about like, I mean, what we see in a lot of other D&D campaigns, she's getting close to possibly being like adventuring age.
She is, and she is the way that at least what I've told Cody, because I don't like giving too much info because I kind of like the DM having artistic freedom. Like I kind of just give him the base of this is what I have in mind. Here you go. And I kind of did put that she's a little bit of a spitfire because it's the opposite of what Thozen is. Thozen tends to be more mellow, chill. He kind of assesses more than he like voices his opinion. Um, and so I kind of wanted his daughter to be the opposite, someone who is a very strong, like uh not open-minded, what's the word I'm looking for, opinionated, like person. Like she's very stubborn, she's very blunt, but aside from that, like me as Carlos don't really know much about her, other than the fact that she is like him, a half-orc tiefling as well, and that she's 15.
So my question would be, now you as Carlos don't know a lot about her, but as Thozen, how does Thozen feel about the idea that his daughter might follow in what is now his mother's and his own footsteps and go adventuring? Is he worried for her safety? Does he think she's got it? Like, what's going on there?
I think he definitely would be worried for his safety because with Thozen, he actually his mother never came back after he went adventuring when he was 10 years old.
Ooh.
So yeah, so this is where it kind of like all started. Thozen's mom was an adventurer, and then she met her dad or his dad at a forge when she needed her armor to be fixed. Well, um, they fell in love. It was like love at first sight, and so you know they got together. They had Thozen, and whenever he was like eight or nine, Thozen's mom, Ileana was her name. She kind of had like missed adventuring. So what Ileana, told her dad is like, hey, I'm gonna go off for a few months at a time, just to kind of like scratch that itch, come back and whatnot. And him being a blacksmith, he was fine with just staying, taking care of his son or their son. Well, when he was 10 years old, she just never came back, and so they assumed she died, and so she was just gone. And so with his dad being so distraught about the fact that she never came back, he ended up spending more and more time in the forges because that was the way that he could cope and the way that he could have some form of control over something, because obviously her being gone was something he couldn't control. And so his mission was to recreate Ileana's mace, to have at least something of hers to remember her by, and he died before he could finish the mace. So uh, because he spent so much time in his forge, like Thozen ended up being more of an apprentice than a son to him. And because Thozen craved his father's attention and love, especially when he was at that crucial, like almost teenage kind of years, he just did everything he could to be with his dad. So he became more of an apprentice and just lived in the forges with his dad. And when his dad died, his mission was to complete the obsidian mace. And that's where, after he passed, he decided to go adventuring for the materials he needed, which was the obsidian. And then you already heard about the volcano. So,
No,
um,
so I brought this up, I think, last episode because we were talking about like what our moniker would be if we became avatars. Like we would be something, the something, and I'd suggested maker for Thozen because he is a craftsman and he's the only one with kids. But are you currently trying to like make him the master craftsman because he's proficient in blacksmithing and tinkery? I feel like you're getting all
it's
of
a few things. Yeah, so he's now proficient in carpenter tools, jewelry tools, smith tools, and whenever we get back to somewhere that I can do tanning, that's why I made sure that I was paying attention to how they were taking care of. It
the
was
dino hides.
the dino hides, so that I could learn, and that way, whenever that does happen, it'll take some time. I think Cody said that it took away the cost portion. Yes. So like whenever I take that time, I don't have to put the material component or the cost components for learning that skill. But yeah, eventually, like he just wants to learn. Not only he was raised around smithing his whole life, he wants to know how to craft everything. Um,
So all he needs is leatherworking and tinkerer's tools.
I think so, as far as I know, until he decides to learn something else. Like, to be honest with you. But sorry, so going back to the original question that you had asked me, Eric, is he terrified of his daughter becoming an adventurer? Hell yeah, because his wife or his mom ended up missing, and obviously being out here in the real world, like he knows what it's like to kind of have to see the dangers and everything that he has to face. He if she ended up joining them and he was there for the first few and seeing how she did, maybe that would change the opinion. But like, I think he would definitely be scared, especially since he's just figuring it out himself.
I have a follow up to that. Do you think he would be less frightened for her if he knew that there was someone else to heal her besides him?
Probably not. He'd still be just as frightened because her mother is a healer. Oh, shut the hell up! That just went right over my head.
I actually, as you were saying everything and as you were talking about it, I got like a weird, like in-depth psychoanalysis, like thought bubble going on, where like maybe Thosen is afraid that his mother isn't actually missing, but that she decided she liked adventuring more than she liked being with a family, and so she left. And so he was like, I'm going to make a better family. And then he ran into a problem where his family, something didn't add up to what he wanted it to be, and so he went adventuring and he left. And then he's now afraid because his daughter, that like, is this some sort of like revolving curse around the Fahrenheit bloodline, and like this was all just my little psychosis, psychological, like, could that be what Thosen is thinking?
Like, I mean, subconsciously, you're not wrong. Like, because literally, like, in a way, he was like, what is it? He lived in the shadow of his father for so long that he decided to, go the like route of his mother's, back life and everything. And I mean, who knows? Like, potentially, not unintentionally, he could have potentially given Liara the same fate, because you're right. Like, he pretty much lived in the forges whenever him and Damaris were having marital issues. Like, so he pretty much history repeated itself in some way, shape, or form. Just Damaris never lost, or not Damaris. Liara didn't lose either one of her parents. She just witnessed them emotionally just drift apart.
Yeah.
What is with y'all and these fucking backstories, man?
Honestly, it wasn't really that in depth when I first wrote it. It's just that over time I've been able to kind of like think about it, and I just didn't want somebody to be like a Bambi story where one parent died and the other one was like,
I mean, so, and also, I would like to say, I will fanatically obsess about other people's backstories and then pay little to no heed to my own. And it does come to a head in like D&D, where I am like even Rothgar. I like eventually I'd gotten to a whole point where Rothgar had a reason for why he became a barbarian. He had a whole backstory, but at the same time, I was just like, we got to figure out what's happening with her over here. We got to get Nezra taken care of over here. Like, there were so many other things, and he was just like, me, I am backburner right now. We got other things to take care of. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Sirach. I have like an idea of a backstory that I've given to Cody, and like I have things sort of flushed, but it's that same thing where, but now like I'm hearing this about Carlos, about Thosen, and I'm just like, Bob, but I wonder if psychologically XYZ.
like, honestly, like, writing backstories, ironically enough, is my least favorite part of D&D. Like, for some people they absolutely love it, which great. Like, my brain is just so scattered that trying to think, as it is, I barely, like, my memory just in real life is shit. So like, me trying to remember shit that has happened in my life is already tough, let alone trying to come up with a backstory to try to remember in a game that's fantasy that has forget it. So I probably wrote, like, I literally have like not even a page worth of information with Thosen's backstory. But somehow it has just evolved in a way like that makes sense, and it just got real like deep out of nowhere. I can't even tell you Samandriel's story. Samandriel lived in a town where all he did was go to the library every fucking day for 7 days a week because that was his life, and he just wanted to experience something new. That was his backstory. I gave him somebody that had nothing as a backstory, and that was like the best thing ever because I hate coming up with them.
God, I
Like,
miss that knowledge cleric.
and oh my god, I know he was so fun to play too.
Wasn't it so great to have a healer like that?
If she
Please
could
make sure
slap
you
me
tune
through
in
the screen.
Monday so that you can be there for the demise of Sirach. So fucking help me, Carlos. If you even try to heal him, I will find you and break your fingers.
Yes, dear. So but so going like backstories, for example, Falk in the Junk Drawer, with his backstory, since that was the first character I came up with, he didn't have one. They just needed a healer, and I was like, okay, so I joined that group. So he went from group to group because, long story short, he became a grave cleric at one point. We had a necromancer; those two don't go together. So he left the party so he didn't have to kill the grave cleric. So I wrote Falk out of that adventure completely, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll never play this character again. And then my cousin reached out and was like, hey, we want to start streaming D&D content on Junk Drawer. We don't have a healer, and we're doing Curse of Strahd. And I was like, oh no, oh no, you're doing Strahd without a healer? Okay, I could do this. So I took that character and plopped him in this campaign. And so what did I do? The entire year and a half I played with him in real life over here was the backstory for this campaign, because they're things that I've actually experienced as a player, experienced as a character, and I didn't have to come up with any of it.
Yeah, I don't really have much for Saride, but that's also partly why I'm like, we're never going to go to the Shay, because that's an Eldrin tower. And if we go there, then Cody has 100% free reign to be like, let's do some fucking Eldrin nonsense. And then I'm
We
like,
run into your husband
I don't have one.
that you know of.
I'm pretty sure I would have been there for that. She's not Yeah, she wasn't marryable. Like,
what if like modified memory happened, and you don't know, like this is like
What if
D&D,
you modified?
anything
What
could
if you
happen.
modified your own memory?
Oh, that would be interesting.
how high level would I have to be for modify memory?
It's like a 6 level.
We don't have access to that yet, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
but what if you found somebody to do it for you?
Or like maybe what we were talking with Eric, you found, I don't know, a magical scroll.
You caught me. You caught the tater.
Or you found a deck of many things and you just drew the wrong card, and it just completely gave you a new reality.
Or I don't have a husband. Can we just?
And then when we find Saride's husband, he'll fall in love with Thozen's wife, and that'll be a real weird.
Oh, that would be weird.
Oh
There you
my
go.
God.
We're writing your backstory for you.
Thanks, guys.
Live
Welcome.
on the archives, writing Saride's backstory. That's
It's
actually
canon.
also why I'm a little bit afraid of going to the 8 Tiers of Shayla Ren. Is because, it's Fae bullshit. And
It's Fey bullshit and a zoo.
that's
not the zoo. And Saride's whole thing was that Sirach was never going to find out that place even existed. And then we got close to it, and people that we were following were interacting with it, and you were like, well, what is that? And someone answered before I could stop them. Like, oh, shit.
Oh, that was the half orc, the shiny half orc.
Yep.
Gravis
Because my
Lowen.
plan was for you never to find out that place existed, and then I could just continue to live semi-guilt-free as your friend who is everything that you hate in the world.
Okay.
But like, I sing pretty.
But see, it's gotten to a much better point for Sirach, because Sirach's original issue was that his really only dealings with Fae were the stories that he was told about what happened to his family. That's really his only knowledge of Fae. And so when he meets you, it's
You found out just how ineffectual they are.
yeah, I mean, he's like, they can't sense my family to something like that. Look at what she can do.
Can't do shit.
And so it
I can't
has,
even win a music concert or competition that I set up myself.
but it's coming to the point like it's gotten to the point now where he realizes there's a difference between someone who is Fey, like has Fey blood, like an Eladrin, a greater Fey, and like the Archfey. Like he's coming to the realization that there are those tiers, and Fey aren't evil. It's he. Well, they're capricious. They're not evil. So he's coming to learn that.
Saride hides it really well.
But no, that's because that was one of my big fears when we found out about 8 Tears of Shayla Ren, is that like something would happen, it'd be like, oh yes, this is, and then would be like, this Archfey, or like this Greater Fey, and Cody would be like, Sirach, that name sounds familiar to you, and I was like, the fuck it does.
Bitch, I hope the fuck you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Fae are evil. Kids.
Oh yeah, children in real life don't play in fairy circles. Always carry salt to drop, so they have to count it. Like, don't mess around with that BS.
No.
No. But yeah, like, Saride knows an awful lot about torture and tracking that no one's really picked up on yet.
There's art to prove it.
I know. Jeez. There's multiple art. Sorry. I don't. Yeah, I definitely haven't picked up on tracking, but that's mostly because Sirach is like, I'm the ranger tracker, and
Well,
so.
it's not really like tracking, but it's like she knows that she knows that he's a trap and that he's bait.
Oh yeah.
And she's pretty sure he's in Iron Cage, and that's why
Having trouble with stuff.
that's why sending is a little wibbly wobbly.
I just happen to roll high on those percentages because
You
I think it was
really
like
did.
80 something. I think at one point it was 99.
99.
I think
Yeah.
is what I rolled. I was like, dude, like, that's the only reason why they went through.
Well, the other thing. Sorry, go on.
No, that was it.
Because the other thing that I was thinking is we know the brothers can kind of deal in extraplanar shit, and I know that sending can work anywhere on the plane you're on. So I'm wondering if the cage is almost somewhat extraplanar, where it's kind of phasing in and out, and so that's why it was tough to get the sending spell through.
I'm going to look at the spell because I think you're right. And I also think that if it's on another plane of existence, there might be a 25% or there's a something percent chance that it does. There's a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive, is what the spell says, if it's in another plane of existence. So you might not be wrong. It could be in some form of demiplane or a different. I never considered it. I never thought about it. I was always being like, "Oh, there must be some form of anti-magic show."
See, that was 100%. Eric was like, "Oh, I wonder if he's in another plane." Sirach's like, "Oh." Like,
I just need that fucking chess set back, man. Like, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
You absolutely know we're gonna get to Wyatt. We're gonna have to fight those brothers, and we're gonna be like, "Where's the chest set?" And Wyatt's gonna be like, "The hobgoblins took. They just needed me for her, and we're gonna have to go and fight for that chest set also."
I'm low key hoping that he went Diva La Plunula, or whatever the fuck, and like swallowed the pieces, and that I have to Kali maul them out of his stomach.
Diva Laguna.
There we go. No, it's Diva Plava Laguna.
Plava Laguna. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh,
That's all. I just want to rip something out of fucking Wyatt's stomach.
Total side note, that is one of those movies that if it's on TV, no matter what part of the movie it's on, I'll literally just sit down and watch the rest of it. I don't care. Like, it's
Remember
such a
when Luke
cult.
Perry was in that movie?
Wait,
Was
what?
he?
Yeah, he's one of the archaeologists at the beginning.
Oh, that's right. The one that's like drawing and whatnot. Like, is
Yeah,
that the one
remember
that
when
he's just
Luke
like,
Perry was in that movie for like 0.2 seconds.
you're right. You're right. I totally spaced out and forgot about that. Oh well.
Oh, Fifth Element, you crazy
Oh, I
bastard.
love it. Can you imagine that as a D&D campaign? Oh, that would be so fun. But anyways,
Oh my god, you're not wrong.
I never am. Why are people so fucking surprised?
I mean, because Luke Perry. But okay, that's a choice. Fine. Sorry, back.
God, this entire cast is so good. Gary Oldman, Mila Jovovich, Bruce Willis. Oh, fuck. We need like a random extra. It's gonna be 2 seconds. It's never gonna matter.
dude, that's like Jack Black in Mars Attacks. Like,
Who do you want? I want Luke Perry. Get the boy from 90210 or the Beverly Hills. Put him in my movie. But just in the beginning, I want him in khaki. Nothing but khaki. Surrounded by sand. Oui.
yes, yes.
And that's my new character when Sarai dies. I'm bringing in Luke
I
Besson.
can't
can't wait.
wait.
I can't wait. Thosin might just strangle her in her sleep just so that can happen again.
I'm
Isn't that what he
look,
does anyway?
I
we've
know.
already
No,
so now we have your new campaign character. We already have my new campaign character, who is apparently running away from your version of his wife. It's gonna be great, Jerry. Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh.
need him to have sending, but he never uses it because there's a possibility that he could get his ex-wife.
there's a 5% chance that it connects to her instead. Roll percentile.
Or she has sending, and she just yeah, like at random points during days, he has to like roll a percentile to see if she's in my head again. Oh sweet God, she's in my head, and I can't focus because that harpy of a wife of mine is just screaming.
Oh my god.
That's great. That's great.
Okay, so when we TPK on Monday, because we only have the one healer and he's gonna be busy.
Yeah.
We've got our backups.
No, I'm here Monday.
Yeah, and you'll be busy being the tank, you know.
Oh, got it.
And we don't have any other healers. Aside from me, I have a couple of cure wounds I can lay out, but that's pretty much it. Oh no, we lost Carlos. This isn't good. I'm about to get beat. Carlos, please come back. You were saving me. Oh, thank God he's here again. In a minute, he's here again. I see rotating boxes. Now I see Carlos.
I mean,
Ah, whew.
Carlos can't save you now, friend.
for some reason, like that does that on my computer. It's fine. I mean, I say my, but it's actually Cody's. Thankfully, he has let me borrow indefinitely for the time being.
Ah, wonderful.
But anyways, so when we TPK on Monday, yeah, what?
Yeah, do you so I know it's kind of like bad luck to create backup characters, obviously. But do you have like thoughts of what you would end up doing if something were to, God forbid, happen to Thosin?
No fucking clue. All I know, it's probably gonna be like totally random out of left field. Just because, again, I like making characters that are just very odd, like combinations. Like one of my characters is a tiefling monk druid, which I feel like a monk druid would be like an odd mix, but it's very fun to play. And then Samandriel ended up being a knowledge cleric ranger,
Yep.
which was an odd mix as well. And then Thok is a life cleric zealot barbarian, which kind of plays together with the whole gods thing, but cleric barbarian is a very odd mix. So I don't know. Like, and then obviously Thosin is a half orc tiefling, which is also weird. So I'll probably keep with that theme just because I like thinking outside the box of how I can push it. I know I will not play an artificer because to me they are complex as fuck, and Carlos's mind cannot cope or comprehend everything with them. But I think I really enjoy playing very. Again, this is where like the part of me that is not me in real life love experiencing it in like fantasy. I like playing very big, burly, strong characters, which in reality, I'm 6 foot tall and very slender and lanky. But I like playing the opposite of me. I'm wondering. I think Samandria was the closest thing to actual me that I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to try to do something the opposite, like either a gnome or like a halfling, something because I always tend to go bigger. I kind of want to do that polar opposite and to the extreme side of doing something much smaller. Maybe like Screever's brother or something. I don't know.
Oh my
I will
god!
not. Oh my god! I just thought about it. No,
Your voice would die.
my voice literally would die. Because as it is, like Thousand's voice tends to be pretty easy for me, but like I remember when I first created Fog's voice kills me because like whenever I talk with them, um, I want to see if I can try to do it. I tend to go on a lower register, but Fox's original voice was like something down here, and I had to get really close to the microphone. And this
Remember
was
the
literally what
replacement
Fox's
you
voice
had for
was.
Samandriel?
What do you mean, like the voice?
He was really raspy too.
No, that was Strike.
That was Striker. Riker.
Riker.
Yeah.
I can't even do it. I can't
But
honestly.
he was really low and raspy.
He was kind of like this, like
Yeah, I remember.
like
Yeah.
but like because I'm really bad with accents, I will 100% admit it. And this is Carlos's backstory. It's partly because English is not my first language. First language is Spanish, and so I moved to the States when I was 6 years old from Puerto Rico. Well, I people tell me that I still have a slight accent, even though I personally don't hear it. But because I don't hear that, and I can recognize accents from different places in a heartbeat. I can't recreate them. Like if you tell me to do a British accent, forget it. Like it is the worst thing ever. So whenever I came up with Thousand, like Thousand's accent is some weird botched mix of like French, Russian, Italian, Spanish, and God knows what else could fall into that meat grinder. Because I was like, okay, whatever.
It works.
I mean, if it works, it works. But yeah, I think like if I did something like that, like if I did go at a smaller character, like I'll probably do like the Stitch voice, like I'll just talk like here and just keep going like that. Like that's what I feel like because that's something easy for me to do too. So I'm like,
A friend.
friend. But
Oh my god!
yeah,
Oh
so
my god!
you know, seeing the way that this campaign is going, I probably should start thinking about a character.
I'll tell you, if something happened to Thousand, I think Sir Ide would retire.
You think so?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just imagine the Rosa Diaz. I've only known this dog for 5 minutes, but if anything happens to him, I'll kill all of you and then myself.
Dude, that was literally the first episode of Samandriel, like weshenever I first joined you guys. Like the first time that I freaking
We
I
fucking
just-
adored you. We really
I
did.
think was it I described him or I drew him? It
You
was one of the
drew
two.
him.
I think I drew him and everyone's like, nothing must happen to this precious angel. And I was like, really? Y'all don't know shit about him. For all you know, he can kill you in a sleep. Or in your
And I
sleep.
died with a smile. There was also like there was a brief moment for Maddie of like this kid is way half her age and she's mostly a lesbian. But I'm like, I don't know. I could dip my toes back into that pool for
My
a second.
favorite was the smolder. Whenever
I-
I did the smolder one, all of y'all were like, "Why?
I-
Why? What are you
he had-
doing?"
He had
Fuck
no
you.
reason to
There
be
was
that
no
sexy.
reason for that.
I just, with what you were saying, Megan, I imagine if you've ever seen Archer, in the episode where Lana's like, I'm gonna have sex with everyone in the office, and he's like, and he's like, Gillette's got a number, and he's like, but you're gay. Gee, please, Cyril. Nobody's that gay.
Yep.
That's what I when you said that, that's all my mind went to.
Yep.
But yeah, so needless to say, no, I don't really have an idea, but honestly, like this conversation is already having the cogs working, and I'm like, you know what? Like, can you imagine like just this little tiny? What else is small aside from a kobold and a halfling?
Dwarves.
And
Dwarf, halfling, God, what's the other? Gnomes. What's the that one that everyone hates that's not in 5e? The one that's like a little
Kenku.
huh?
Kenku.
No, people don't hate Kenku. They just are bad at playing them. Um, oh God. Yeah, I'm out for you. All Kenku players everywhere, PCs.
they got
I'm coming
shady as
after you.
hell.
Um,
Well, it's hard playing a Kanku because you literally have to speak in mimicry, so
yeah,
like
but
it's kind of
that's
difficult.
no, but that's like that is a person putting a okay, this is my soapbox. This is a person who is a putting an obstacle in front of their own role playing because they're like, no, 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 no. I do this thing and it's different. So I do it this way, and I'm just like, look, like I get that, and you can flavor text that however you want, but I'm like, we need to actually be able to like interact and talk with each other, and like if you're just like everything I say, you're just like oh, bradagaga, and it's just like okay, but like we need to come up with a strategy, and you're like, huh, strategy, and I was just like, mm. But
You
again,
ain't wrong.
that's okay. Soapbox away, stepping down, back in seat. It's good to see you all.
The
And
not 5e tiny thing that everyone hates. Is that
Uh,
what?
huh? It's like an elf, but it's like a childlike creature, and they're just oh gosh,
Pixie?
not, maybe pixie.
if we only had a magical device in front of us that can look up everything on the internet.
I'm not messing with my computer because the minute I start looking at something else,
I'm
I
looking it up.
turn into a mayonnaise. So someone else got to look it up.
There we go. Santa's helper. No, that's not it. Oh God. Like their whole thing is they like playing tricks and they steal things from people.
Brownies?
No, it's not an elven. It's not like an elf or a pixie. It's like a, gosh, I
Quicklings?
maybe quicklings. Aren't quicklings like the darkness though?
I mean, it's Fae, so at some point.
No, yeah, they're dark creatures though. I don't know. I'll
Really?
come up
I
with it
kept them
later.
as a pet.
They are small species of the Fae.
Ooh,
Um,
Satyr sounds fun.
Satyr loves Pan and loves everything else.
Just, dick out. Let's go.
Sorry. But also, guys, it is. I think it is getting to that time. I think we might be getting ready for the end of the show.
I'm determined to find this thing before we end.
Like, I can't. I know
Grung?
you just made up a word. Like, I don't know if that.
Oh, it says grung here. Like it's a thing.
Yeah,
It
we're
has plus 2 to dexterity.
poisonous frog-like amphibious humanoids that lived in trees. No. Oh.
We'll find out afterwards.
We will. I know exactly who I'm gonna call up because we talked about this like a couple of years ago, and it was like his most hated race in all of Dungeons and Dragons.
I just can't even think about what this is. Like, the only thing I could think would be like a pixie or a fairy. Because they're
No,
tiny.
it's. I I'm not explaining it well enough, and so it is utterly my fault here that we don't have it. List Erica ASMR, Etherborn, no. Bugbear, no. Centaur, Changeling, Dragonborn, Dwarf. Shit
Well, it's
ton of
definitely not
elves.
in D&D Beyond.
Gith. Is it Gith? What's Gith?
Githyanki are they're elves.
No. Okay.
Well,
Gnomes,
that's
gnomes,
like
goblins,
when you were
Goliath.
talking about like having like a character that puts a severe handicap on things. It's like I've always wanted to play a drow, but my problem is that I'm always in campaigns that are outside in the light. Like that is a huge handicap to put on a character that's adventuring the world. Um, like my friend had come up with this awesome character one time that she was a druid, but she was an albino druid, so that she, whenever she beast shape, she could only beast shape into animals that are albino. She couldn't change her beast color. And I was like, that I found interesting and I found actually intriguing. But like when it's a severe handicap of you can't be in the sunlight without having a huge disadvantage, I'm like, that's tough. It looks fun to play, but I feel like playing it would be rough.
When I first played Norda in a home game, she was my Shadow Genasi monk that was there like
Yeah,
in the last season for a little bit.
I
When she
remember.
first showed up in Willen, she had taken a vow of silence for the last part of her monk training. So she spoke common, but she spoke ASL, which we decided was Arcadian Sign Language, um,
Love it.
which is great, except that no one else spoke it. So
I didn't
no
join
one
you
else
then.
at the fucking table did, and I sure shit don't. But like, she would try to sign stuff. No one could understand her. She would try to write things out. We were having a game where there was a lot of new players and stuff just wasn't getting going. And I finally went, all right, she's frustrated. Fuck it, she's talking because we're about to get eaten by giant frogs and this is ridiculous because it wasn't going to work. And like it wasn't she physically couldn't. It was a choice,
Yeah.
you know. It wasn't like mid game I went, okay, she's got a dick now. Let's go, like something. So although
Well, and that's difficult too, and especially like when you do rotate through so many players in a game. Because like, what is it? The last campaign, what did we end up in total with? Like 30 or 20 or like even like just people that have jumped in and out of
at
the show
least
before.
19.
Like it was a high number
Yep.
because I knew that I joined y'all when you weren't at the end game yet, but you were kind of like balls rolling in that direction already, and you had already been doing that for quite some time before I jumped in.
And by the time
Um,
you guys got there, it was almost an entirely new batch of people.
Yeah. We
Every almost every week, you know?
yeah. I remember I came at who was there when I came in cuz I had cuz I was there for the first time we met Justin's character
The
Gunthry
clown,
Guthrie.
Guthrie, yeah.
Um I was there for Samandriel. Uh I was there for mac and cheese.
Mac. I was like, who the fuck is Mac? Oh, Mac and what was Kiz's artificer?
The elf. Oh god. Oh, it's slipping my mind.
oh, that's like now speaking of the old story. Like, sorry, totally segued. Um, who was I can't remember her name now off the top of my head. That was the tiefling with the like the white armor that was like really like in the old campaign.
The special
Um,
armor?
that she was
Nezra,
very
right?
Nezra.
Yeah,
So
Jacqueline.
ironically
Yeah.
enough, obviously like I totally missed the fact that we weren't supposed to like tie in, or he didn't want any legacies in this
Hmm.
campaign. My original intent was to be make Thozen Nezra's either child or grandchild or something. And I had asked like how much time had passed between one campaign to the other. And I had reached out to her and I was like, hey, like just out of curiosity, like, and me and her, like I was messaging her about her, like her character. And I was like asking, like, I think I only asked like one or two questions. And then I think I had asked, hey, well, how much time is the time skip? And I think, I can't remember if it was Meg or Caitlin or it was somebody had been like, hey, we're not doing legacies. I'm like, that's great. Me as Carlos, I'm too stupid to understand what the hell's a legacy. And then finally, when they explained, I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I had to like rewrite his backstory and go on a totally
I
different
mean,
way.
at that point, it's easy enough to be like, okay, it's the same thing, just not named Nezra. Name something else. That's
Correct. Yeah,
yeah.
because I just made her a tiefling adventurer, you know. So like, but that was my original intent as like to kind of tie in somehow the first campaign of the second with like little Easter eggs, and then in a way it kind of worked out for the better because obviously like it is kind of nice not having to worry about any of those characters. Who the hell knows? Samantha might still be fucking alive. They're immortal now, so
Yeah, yeah. Part of the
like
guards. Yeah.
if he hasn't died,
He hasn't
like.
given up on the oath. He's still there.
Mhm.
God, that oath. I was so upset about that. I was so upset.
Dude, and that's the thing with me and characters. Like, I am one of those that I go with what I feel. I'm very much at the moment. There's times that like I'll go through an entire session, and if you ask me, "Hey, so what happened in the session?" I'm like, I honestly can't tell you because I just go into that world and just completely do what I feel like my characters would do at that moment. And I know that we're not talking about the whole Sam Andrew thing, and that's a whole different story and campaign, and we've already talked about that. But that was one of those like I just killed this shit, this kid off.
It was beautiful. I stood in my living room watching the stream, and tears were just coming down my face. It was really intense. It was beautiful. That was a good game.
Well, I just felt bad because wasn't it also like their first time like joining this game too?
No, they've been there for a while.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
sure.
Because I got to play with them before they disappeared. I will say this before we go. So you know how we found those potions in Burns's caravan
Yes.
cart, and one of them is like a longevity potion.
Yes.
She might start slipping it to Thosin.
Oh, without him knowing.
Maybe. I have to decide how tricksy I want her to be.
That's interesting, just because she's so long-lived.
Because he's going to die soon.
I mean, he's upper 40s, and orcs live up to at most 70s.
Yeah.
60s, 60s, 70s.
She's still got like 900 years or 800 years to go. And she's
That'll
pretty
be
sure
interesting.
she's found her guy. Like she's good. But she doesn't know.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's gonna be the weirdest thing. It's gonna be Legally Blonde. You're gonna be like this stepmother coming in who's younger than the daughter of the guy.
Yep.
Okay.
Like
then
not
I
actually.
get to play the daughter with this hair.
With the perm.
She's my age. Do you know what it's like having a stepmother who looks like she's your age? Also, Sarai may have already started writing letters of introduction and recommendation for the daughter into elven courts and schools. Just like if she ever needs it.
Here's a reference letter.
Yeah, because apparently, I don't heal. So I figure I might as well use my noble back, because that's like the thing with the nobles, right? Is we walk in places, you're like, oh, I have this name, and then you get stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
That's
So,
what Rothgar did.
Yeah, that's like the one good thing about nobles, and
Yeah.
we can't use Treasure's name because if we speak it too loud, the albino dudes come from the Matrix with face fighters.
That's gonna be interesting to see how that goes.
Well, guys, I'd like to thank you for stopping by and watching us. Carlos, thank you for coming on the show. It was great having
Thank you for having me.
Meg, thanks for being an amazing host, as always.
Back at you.
And we will see you guys on Monday for our next game of Disasters and Dangers. And we hope that you have a great rest of your evening, a great rest of your week. And be sure to look up the lineup for Random Encounters. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on between now and Monday. So if you ever got nothing to do, be sure to check it out. Hey, if you got something to do, put it on your calendar. Make checking it out that thing you got to do. All right, everyone. Have a good time and have a good night. See you later, everybody.